silent witness. The Deep Space Monitoring Station orbited the edge of human territory like a forgotten lighthouse, scanning the cosmic dark for signals that might never come. Dr. Kara Mendez sat alone in the analysis chamber, her coffee long cold, eyes burning from 14 hours of reviewing electromagnetic spectrum data. Most days brought nothing but stellar background noise and the occasional automated beacon from distant probes. Tonight felt different. The signal appeared at 0347 hours, weak, distorted, but undeniably artificial. Kara's heart raced as she isolated the frequency, her fingers dancing across holographic controls with practiced precision. 23 years of searching for proof that humanity wasn't alone in the universe, and here it was, bleeding through subspace like a wound. The translation algorithm struggled with the alien linguistics, but the emotional content was unmistakable. Terror. Desperation. A plea for help that transcended language barriers. Please, anyone, the devourer comes, our cities fall, we are the cell carry, we have no weapons, our children. The transmission fractured into static, then returned in fragments. Mathematical coordinates. Desperate repetition of the same message in what seemed like dozens of languages, as if the senders were trying everything possible to be understood. Kara saved the data and immediately opened a secure channel to her direct supervisor at Earth Defense Command. Regulations required reporting any alien contact within 1 hour of confirmation. But her call went to another office entirely. Commander Thorne's office, this is Lieutenant Park. I need to speak with Marcus Thorne immediately, Kara said, her voice tight. Tell him it's Dr. Mendez. Tell him I found something. Marcus arrived at the monitoring station 8 hours later, his military transport cutting through space with urgent purpose. Kara met him in the docking bay, and for a moment, neither spoke. They'd been colleagues once, then briefly something more, before his promotion and her posting had pulled them apart. You look terrible, Marcus said, concern softening his commanding presence. You look the same, Kara replied, managing a tired smile. Still annoyingly perfect. He followed her to the analysis chamber, his expression growing grave as she played the transmission. The anguish in those alien voices needed no translation. When it finished, Marcus stood silent, his jaw tight. The Galactic Assembly has strict non-interference protocols, he said finally. First contact situations require. They're dying, Marcus. Right now. While we debate protocols. How far? 3 weeks at maximum burn. But we'd be violating every treaty humanity has ever signed with the Assembly. We're still probationary members. This could get us expelled from galactic civilization entirely. Marcus studied the star charts, his dark eyes calculating distances and possibilities. Kara watched him work through the decision, remembering why she'd fallen for him in the first place, his inability to turn away from those who needed help, even when it cost him. Send me everything you have, he said quietly. And start learning their language. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. The forbidden decision. The war room aboard the UEDS Indomitable hummed with tension as Marcus presented his case to Fleet Admiral Zhang. Holographic projections showed the cell carry distress signals, the estimated location of their homeworld, and the growing silence as their transmissions weakened day by day. You're asking me to commit half our battle fleet to rescue aliens we've never met, Zhang said, her weathered face unreadable. Aliens the Galactic Assembly has apparently decided aren't worth saving. The Assembly has quarantine protocols, Marcus argued. They're sacrificing the cell carry to contain whatever this devourer is. We're not bound by their cowardice. Kara stood beside him, exhausted from 3 days of non-stop translation work. She'd barely left the linguistics lab, surviving on stimulants and determination. Now she activated her own presentation, images she painstakingly reconstructed from fragmented data streams. The cell carry were beautiful. Humanoid but distinctly aquatic, with skin that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns, graceful limbs built for swimming through their ocean cities. The images showed families, children, scholars, a civilization that had clearly chosen peace over weapons. They're poets, Kara said softly. Their entire culture is built around harmony and artistic expression. They literally have no concept of war. And something is eating them alive. Zhang studied the images in silence. Finally, she spoke. If we do this, the assembly will consider it an act of aggression. Humanity will be isolated, possibly sanctioned. We could lose everything we've worked for. Or we could show them what humanity really is, Marcus said. Not another aggressive species to be contained, but allies worth having. People who answer when others call for help. The Admiral's eyes moved between Marcus and Kara, and something knowing flickered in her expression. Commander Thorne, you're too personally invested in this. Your judgment may be compromised. My judgment is clear, Admiral. These people deserve a chance. Zhang was silent for a long moment. Then she nodded. Mobilize the 2nd and 5th battle groups. Dr. Mendez, you'll accompany the fleet as first contact specialist. Commander Thorne will have tactical command. She paused. And try to bring my ships back in one piece. That night, Kara found Marcus on the observation deck, watching Earth shrink in the viewport as the fleet assembled. She approached slowly, suddenly uncertain despite everything they'd shared before. Thank you, she said. For listening. For believing me. You made it impossible not to. He turned, and the intensity in his eyes made her breath catch. Kara, about before, we don't have to talk about that. I want to. I've wanted to for 2 years. He stepped closer. I never should have let you go. The promotion, the distance, those were excuses. I was afraid. Of what? Of this. Of caring about someone more than the mission. Of what it would do to me if. He didn't finish, but she understood. Kara reached up, touching his face gently. We're about to fly into the unknown to fight something that's destroyed an entire civilization. If there was ever a time to be honest, he kissed her then, urgent and tender, 2 years of longing compressed into a moment. When they finally pulled apart, alarms were already sounding, the fleet was ready to jump. Stay alive, Marcus whispered against her forehead. Whatever happens out there, promise me you'll stay alive. Only if you do the same. 3 days later, the human armada dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Selkari system. What they found was worse than any nightmare. First contact under fire. The Selkari homeworld burned. From the bridge of the Indomitable, Kara watched in horror as massive sections of the planet's ocean boiled away, consumed by something that defied comprehension. The Devourer wasn't a ship or even a single entity, it was a writhing mass of dark matter that fed on energy itself, growing larger with each city it consumed. Scan shows 37% of the planet already lost, the tactical officer reported. The entity is adapting to their defensive systems in real time. What little resistance they're mounting is completely ineffective. Marcus stood at the command console, his expression carved from stone. All ships, battle formation Delta. Prepare to engage. Communications, open all channels, let's announce ourselves. Kara moved to her station, fingers trembling as she activated the translation protocols she'd spent weeks perfecting. Broadcasting now. Selkari language and mathematical universal. Attention Selkari people, Marcus said, his voice steady. This is Commander Marcus Thorne of the United Earth Defense Force. We received your distress call. Humanity stands with you. We're here to fight. For a moment, only static answered. Then a voice came through, musical and desperate, speaking words Kara had learned to understand. This is Princess Lissa of the Coral Throne. You came. But the assembly said no one would. The transmission broke as an explosion rocked the background. Our shields are failing. The capital city has minutes left. If you have weapons, please, our children, we have weapons, Marcus interrupted. And we know how to use them. Hold on, Princess. Just hold on. The human fleet surged forward, and Kara watched as centuries of military innovation unleashed itself on the cosmic horror. Energy weapons the Devourer could absorb were abandoned in favor of kinetic bombardment. Massive tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds that punched through the dark matter like bullets through water. The Devourer recoiled, and for the first time since arriving, Kara felt hope. "It's working," the weapons officer shouted. "The physical projectiles are disrupting its cohesion." But the entity was learning. Even as the fleet pressed its advantage, the dark matter began forming dense armor plating, deflecting subsequent strikes. Marcus cycled through weapons systems with brutal efficiency: plasma torpedoes, nuclear missiles, experimental quantum disruptors, keeping the Devourer off balance. Kara established a direct line to Princess Lissa. The Selkari leader appeared on screen, her luminescent skin flickering with fear and exhaustion. She was younger than Kara expected, with eyes that held both terror and fierce determination. "Dr. Mendez," Lissa said, her human pronunciation careful. "Your people fight like nothing we've ever seen. The assembly species abandoned us because they feared the Devourer. But we're not the assembly," Kara said firmly. "Tell me about your bioluminescent network. I've been studying your transmissions. Your entire civilization communicates through light patterns, correct?" "Yes, but I don't see how. What if we could weaponize it? Overload the Devourer with conflicting energy signatures?" Lissa's eyes widened with understanding. "Our cities are built on harmonic resonance. If we could synchronize the remaining population centers." She turned to someone off-screen, speaking rapidly in her own language. On the view screen, Marcus's battle was becoming desperate. The Devourer had split into multiple segments, flanking the human fleet. Ships were taking damage, and the entity was still growing, feeding on the energy from every weapon strike. "Marcus," Kara called out. "I need 10 minutes. Lissa and I have an idea." He glanced at her, jaw tight. "You've got 5. After that, I'm pulling the fleet back to defensive positions around the remaining cities." 5 is enough." She looked at Lissa. "Tell me everything about your resonance network." "Unity of worlds." The Indomitable shuddered under another impact as Kara worked frantically with Lissa, their conversation a rapid exchange of scientific concepts across species barriers. The Selkari's bioluminescent communication network was more sophisticated than Kara had imagined, a quantum-entangled system spanning their entire civilization. "If we synchronize every surviving Selkari on the same frequency," Lissa explained, her fingers dancing across her own controls, "we could create a pulse visible across the electromagnetic spectrum. But it would leave our people vulnerable, completely exposed." "That's where we come in," Kara said. "The human fleet creates a defensive perimeter while your people generate the pulse. We protect you long enough to blind this thing." Marcus appeared beside her, his uniform scorched from a brief hull breach. 2 ships lost. 5 more with critical damage. Whatever you're planning, it needs to happen now. Kara turned to him, seeing the exhaustion and determination in his eyes. In that moment, surrounded by chaos and death, she realized how much she needed him to survive this. "Marcus, don't." He touched her face gently, a gesture of desperate tenderness in the midst of war. "Don't say goodbye. Say you'll see me after this is over. Say we'll have time." "We'll have time," she whispered, then kissed him hard, pouring everything she couldn't say into that moment. When they broke apart, his eyes held a promise. "Then let's make sure of it." He turned to his tactical officer. "All ships, form defensive sphere around the Selkari population centers. Overlapping shields, maximum power. Nothing gets through." The human fleet repositioned with practiced precision, creating a wall of steel and energy between the Devourer and its prey. On Kara's screen, Lissa was coordinating with her people, hundreds of thousands of Selkari focusing their collective bioluminescence into a single, building charge. 30 seconds, Lissa reported, her skin already beginning to glow intensely. The Devourer sensed the change, pressing its attack with renewed fury. Dark matter tendrils lashed at the human ships, probing for weaknesses. The fleet's shields flared and buckled under the assault. "Shields at 40%, someone called out. "We can't hold this for long." Marcus stood at the center of the bridge, calling out orders with calm authority. "Redirect power from non-essential systems. Rotate damaged ships to the interior. Medical teams on standby." Kara watched him command, understanding why she'd fallen for him. He carried the weight of every life under his protection, but never let it crush him. Instead, it made him stronger. 10 seconds, Lissa said, her voice strained. "My people are ready. Dr. Mendez, Kara, if this fails, please tell the universe that the cell carry existed. That we mattered." "You'll tell them yourself," Kara said firmly. Now. The planet erupted in light. Every cell carry released their bioluminescence simultaneously, creating a quantum-synchronized pulse that blazed across every frequency. The devourer, which fed on energy, suddenly found itself drowning in sensory overload. Its dark matter form convulsed, unable to process the harmonic resonance. "Now!" Marcus shouted. All weapons, concentrated fire on the central mass. The human fleet unleashed everything: kinetic rounds, missiles, energy weapons, experimental technologies that had never been tested in real combat. The devourer, blind and disoriented, couldn't adapt fast enough. Its cohesion shattered. For a moment, space itself seemed to scream. Then, with a flash of impossible light, the entity collapsed inward and dissipated, leaving only scattered particles that drifted harmlessly into the void. Silence fell across the fleet. "Target destroyed," the tactical officer whispered, as if afraid to believe it. "The devourer is gone. A new alliance." The celebration was muted at first, shock and exhaustion tempering the relief. Then, gradually, it built, cheers echoing through human ships, bioluminescent displays of joy flickering across the cell-carry cities below. They had won. Against impossible odds, two civilizations had stood together and survived. Kara found herself in Marcus's arms before she consciously decided to move, and he held her like she was the most precious thing in the universe. Around them, the bridge crew politely looked away, giving them a moment of privacy in the midst of chaos. "We did it," she breathed against his chest. "We actually did it." "You did it," Marcus corrected softly. "The linguistic breakthrough, the weaponized resonance, that was all you. Couldn't have done it without someone crazy enough to bring a fleet across the galaxy on a linguist's hunch." He pulled back to look at her, and she saw something in his expression she'd never seen before: vulnerability, hope, and a question he was afraid to ask. "Kara, when this is over, when we return to Earth. I'm not going back." The words came out before she'd fully processed them, but she knew they were true. The cell carry need help rebuilding. Someone who understands them. "And I." She smiled. "I think I've spent enough time listening to silent stars. I want to be here, with living voices." "The Admiralty will need me," Marcus said slowly. "The diplomatic fallout from this will be massive. But I could request extended assignment as liaison to cell carry space. If." He hesitated. "If you wanted company." "Marcus Thorne, are you asking to stay with me?" "I'm asking for a lot more than that. I'm asking for whatever time we can make together. Here, Earth, anywhere. I'm asking," he stopped, then said it simply. "I'm asking for you. All of you. For however long you'll have me." Kara kissed him again, softer this time, full of promise instead of desperation. "I think we can arrange that, Commander." A chime interrupted them, an incoming transmission from the planet. Princess Lissa appeared on screen, her luminescence pulsing with what Kara now recognized as profound gratitude. "Commander Thorne, Dr. Mendez, the cell-carry people owe you a debt we can never repay. You came when no one else would. You fought for strangers. You showed us that the galaxy still holds honor." "We did what anyone should do," Marcus said. Answer when someone calls for help. But no one else did, Lissa said softly. The assembly watched us die and did nothing. Humanity crossed the stars to stand with us. That will not be forgotten. She paused. We would like to formally request a permanent alliance. Cultural exchange, technological cooperation, mutual defense. If you will have us. Kara and Marcus exchanged glances. This was bigger than either of them now. This was history. I think Earth will be very interested in that conversation, Princess, Marcus said. And I suspect the Galactic Assembly will be too, once they realize what happened here. Indeed, the Assembly's response came within days, a formal communication demanding humanity explain its unauthorized military action. But the message's tone was different than expected. Not angry, but uncertain. Almost, respectful. Because across the galaxy, the story was spreading. The species too young for membership, too aggressive for trust, had done what the ancient civilizations would not. Humanity had proven itself not through submission to protocols, but through courage and compassion. The invitation came a week later. Full membership in the Galactic Assembly, with the Selkari's sponsorship. No probationary period. No restrictions. Standing on the observation deck of the Indomitable as it orbited the recovering Selkari homeworld, Kara leaned against Marcus and watched the bioluminescent celebrations below. Everything's going to change now, she said quietly. Humanity won't be the outsiders anymore. We'll be part of something bigger. Some things don't change, Marcus replied, wrapping his arms around her. The important things. Like what? Like this. Like us. Like the fact that when someone calls for help, we answer. He turned her to face him. Like the fact that I love you, and I'm not letting you go again. Not for promotions, not for distance, not for anything. Kara smiled, feeling tears prick her eyes. I love you too. And I think we've earned a future, don't you? I think we've earned whatever future we want to build. He kissed her forehead. Together. Below them, the Selkari cities glowed with renewed life, a testament to what could be accomplished when different worlds chose to stand united. And above them, the stars stretched endlessly, no longer silent and empty, but full of voices, full of friends, full of possibility. Humanity had finally found its place in the cosmos. Not through conquest or submission, but through the simple act of being there when it mattered most. And in the arms of the man she loved, surrounded by the evidence of what compassion could achieve, Kara Mendez knew that this was only the beginning. The end.